Listen, if you would have told me that Osaragi was going to end up going up against Torres, I would not have guessed that, because while after thinking a little bit about it, I guess their dynamic does make sense. Torres being this character that is a very old, very high up member of the order when it comes to strength, and is just able to decimate a character like Sakamoto when he's not realizing his full potential, paired up against someone like Osaragi, who we know is a very strong order member herself. You have these two assassins that are, funnily enough, both driven by external forces to be killers. While Osaragi definitely enjoys her place in the order a little bit more than someone like Torres would, Osaragi does what she does and assassinates people because she feels like that is her God-given right from the gods themselves. They are gracious and they allow people like her to live, so that way she can cleanse the world of evil people while still being able to be justified in the evil actions that she commits. And then you've got someone like Torres, who just likes to gamble, hang out, and just chill and have a good time, and only really ends up getting involved in assassinations because he has such a high debt count that there is no way he will ever be able to repay it without doing such high-paying jobs like assassinations. These two characters that have forces beyond their recognition driving them to be in the situation that they're in and conflict with one another, I definitely think makes sense. And of course, you've got the matchup between Shishiba and Gozu, which was set up way earlier in the series, and this one is a fight I'm excited to see, to be honest with you, because Shishiba was very much at a disadvantage the last time these two characters went into combat, just because Shishiba relies on his hammer, which is metal, and that is not good to go up against a character like Gozu, who is not just only able to use lightning to just completely use vibrations, shockwave, and just keep Shishiba in place when he gets hit by lightning, as we've seen before, but on top of that, even in this short little scuffle, Gozu is very quickly able to steal Shishiba's weapon and just use it to create a lightning bolt and almost hit him just like he did before. I'm definitely seeing the potential in the battles that Yuto Suzuki is setting up. I definitely think it's weird that for some reason Tanabata has just outright disappeared. He's not in this chapter whatsoever. I don't think he got killed by Osaragi last chapter. I mean, he was right in the driver's seat when Osaragi used her buzzsaw to slash right through the front of the vehicle, and then he's there, and then at the very start of this chapter he's just gone. He's not in the seat. Maybe he jumped out of the way. Maybe he's gonna end up getting put up against Shin. Shin versus Tanabata is an interesting dynamic because, funnily enough, Tanabata is the character that Yuto Suzuki made the story error with, where Shin actually used his mental stop twice on Tanabata, which is not supposed to happen at all. Again, this brings us all the way back to the tunnel effect moment in the aquarium, where you had Shin quite literally blow his mental stop on every single major villain all at the same time. I figured Shin going up against Torres made the most sense because that would be able to pay off the constant reference that has been being made to him when it comes to him being like Sakamoto and filling Sakamoto's shoes while Sakamoto is not there. But right now, I really don't know what is going on. Sakamoto Days has been very unpredictable lately. And also, like I said last chapter, sometimes the chapters just have a lot of interesting whiplash. And what I mean by whiplash is you will have very interesting hype moments that have like Shishiba and Gozu going up against one another. Like last chapter, you have the very weird driver's license scene that was basically, as a lot of people told me, really just meant to push the chapter along and delay it long enough to have the cliffhanger be Shishiba and Osaragi showing up. I've also noticed the pacing of Sakamoto Days has slowed down significantly. These battles, even though they are the final battles, we have been taking so much of a slower time to let everything pace themselves out. And while that can be a good thing, I think what needs to happen is we need to go all in on the action very soon, because we have been going from fight to fight to fight. And while I know it's important to know that a lot of these battles are happening at the same time, I think one of the main reasons that everyone really enjoys Sakamoto Days is the great choreography and the amazing hype moments. And we now have a character like Osaragi going up against a very experienced order member, and Shishiba getting his get back with Gozu. So there are multiple reasons for this to pick the final arc of the story right back up, because you really do have awesome moments. Osaragi swinging her buzzsaw around is always an interesting thing. Shishiba being able to take a small little nail or a little knife that he has and use that to throw that into the wheel of a van that's passing by and use that to kick off of the van and throw a kick, showing that Shishiba is more than just his hammer, potentially hinting at the way that this battle may have to go out, where Shishiba genuinely has to fight without his weapon, because right now that may be the only way he has a chance to win. So I'm definitely excited to see how that goes. I'll be interested to see how someone like Osaragi is able to handle Torres' sandblasters. These fights have big time potential. This video is sponsored by GamerSupps, the ultimate energy and focus formula. Use my code NOOP now for 10% off, and thank you GamerSupps for sponsoring the channel. As far as where everything else is going in the story, it seems like the JCC students that were able to escape and were getting away from the twins from the KKK, while Natsuki Shiba and Mafuyu handle them, you have Amane, Torimaru, and I guess Kaji using a helicopter from the JCC that they stole, and they will be able to use that helicopter to, I guess, transport Sakamoto to safety. Because with Atari being the one that drove the vehicle last chapter, she just outright crashed and almost destroyed not just the ambulance van that they were using that had Sakamoto in it, that Sakamoto is currently in a hospitalized bed at this point, so I'm sure he's now flung over on the side, just in a coma, unable to wake up. But it's crazy to me that you have a character here. Well, it's not crazy to me because, this is Sakamoto days. The fact that someone in the JCC was just able to spontaneously pilot a helicopter, I'm not even that mad at. I'm definitely not that mad at whatsoever, because you know what? This van transportation was not it from the very beginning, but also stuff like this makes me wonder, why didn't we send the helicopter to begin with? Because I feel like that would have been way better. We wouldn't have had to deal with all of the road battles. Would the Order have shown up in their own helicopter? I mean, I guess they could have, technically. They control the entire JAA. All I'm saying is this final battle arc has been weird, but I have talked so much about how I feel about this arc. I don't want to rehash old things that I've already been saying in the video. I'm honestly curious to hear what you guys think. Are you guys excited for the matchups between Osaragi and Torres and Gozu and Shishiba? Where do you guys think Tanabata went? Is Tanabata going to hijack onto the helicopter, or is someone gonna have to be left behind? That's actually a really good point. There's a really good chance that Tanabata is gonna show up right before they get away on the helicopter, and that's gonna mean someone has to get left behind. If we get Boiled solo fighting any of these Order members, I think at that point that might be another crazy thing that just suspends my belief, because while I love the inclusion of Boiled and I'm so happy that he came back into the mix of things, Boiled going up against an Order level member character at this stage in the story where he has gotten no training or development whatsoever might be, again, a little bit too much for me to handle. I don't know, maybe that's just me, guys. But until we get to the final chapter of this story, I am gonna stick it out every single week that this story comes out, because god damn it, that's what I vowed to do for you guys, and that's what I'm gonna do. So hit that like button and the hype button for the dedication, subscribe so you don't miss any future Sakamoto Days videos or reviews, and don't forget we cover all your other weekly manga that you may read: Gachiakuta, Don the Don, Chainsaw Man, JJK Modulo, Kagurabachi, all the good stuff. And as well as you can check out a bunch of long form content on the main channel, or any kind of gaming stuff that you're interested in on No Operator Live. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.